as much anymore. Everyone will eventually have one. Like those pictures of a boy crying that caused houses to burn down in the 1980s.
What does that mean?
What are you talking about?
Don't you remember if you're listening in America, they might not have made it over there.
Is it the sort of like the sugary ones with kids? Like, is it Techikov or something?
It's just some kid. My auntie Nora had one, and it was just like a kid with like a blue jumper on, and it's like a painting, not a photo.
Yeah, chocolate box, really awful, sort of sugary.
And what happened is they found out that a load of houses were being set on fire or burst into flames, whatever. And the weird thing was,
oh, it's bollocks.
every house that burnt down had that photo.
Yeah, because every house had that picture in the fucking 70s and 80s. Idiot. It's like, we're linking it to sinks. Every house that's ever burnt down had a sink. You're talking shit again. Carry on.
Wednesday. Saw a homeless bloke. I'm surprised that no companies have thought about sponsoring the homeless. Something like a clothing company. Give them some clothes that have an advert on the back. Everyone's a winner.
Good idea.
Not bad, is it?
Got on the tube to Camden. Read in a free newspaper that hedgehogs could be gone by 2025. I think I've seen more dead hedgehogs than alive ones anyway, so I don't think I'll miss them. Went round to Ricky's house and had a game of pool. It should have been nice and relaxing, but Jane gave me some cake, and Ricky said I can't play pool if my hands are all sticky from cake.
It was the sugar. And it wasn't that either. After he'd finished it, they weren't just sticky. He was licking his fingers, sucking his fingers, pull cues and touch things. And I was thinking, go and wash your hands after licking your hands. You're not a cat.
This turned into an argument when I said I didn't want to wash my hands.
Why didn't he?
He goes for a piss all the time without washing his hands, and then squeezes my head. I know I prefer to have lemon cake crumbs on my head than knob juice. Was going to do a crossword, but I'm tired and have learnt enough today.
What have you learned?
Well, the stuff about hedgehogs and that.
Oh, God.
Was on my way to my mates and I got on a train. Got close to a station but realised I needed a wee. Was about to go in a cubicle when a blind man with a dog who was bumbling his way through the walkway came around. I said, "Are you after the toilet?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "It's on your right." I shouldn't have let him go first, as he took ages, and it would be my stop soon. The dog waited outside the cubicle. I was going to stroke it, but then I remembered someone telling me that you shouldn't. Don't know why
not?
that is.
Because something to do with the owner should be the only one who and you shouldn't.
Well, you shouldn't stroke it because you'll cover it in fucking lemon cake.
No, but just because if you stroke it and that, it might like me and want to go off with me, and he'll come out and be lost and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not totally sure, but I just thought...
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
A few people have sent this in, including Paul the Party Animal Parker. I wonder if anyone else in his school... I mean, for some reason we've just assumed he's in school. I don't think there's any actual proof of that. But
I reckon he left in June, and he's doing sort of bits and pieces, but he's still a party animal.
Do you think he can hold down a job? Is he just partying so hard that...
He can hold down a job. He often arrives late.
Sure.
And the boss, who's in an overall, go, "Parker, you're late again." He goes, "Yeah, talk to the hand." Yeah.
I think that he's the sort of guy that he'll just happily say, "Listen, I survive on 4 hours sleep.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go to work, I've not slept at all."
But I think he comes in with his headphones blaring, right, on a skateboard, and the bloke goes, bloke goes, "You stupid idiot, you can't work there." He goes, "Chill out, man." And in 2 minutes, he's got him dancing.
Oh, I know what he's like. Yeah, he is just like, you just can't resist it, because he's just a fun guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, Paul and a few other people have sent in this piece of information they've discovered from one of the more respected news networks. The headline is this: female kidney turns lumberjack onto housework.
Right.
Now, a Croatian lumberjack apparently has claimed that he started enjoying housework and knitting after he was given a female kidney. He claims he's going to sue his local health authority because he says he's become a laughingstock. He used to enjoy heavy drinking sessions and things. The kidney transplant saved his life, but they never warned me about the side effects. I've developed a strange passion for female jobs, like ironing, sewing, washing dishes, sorting clothes in wardrobes, and even knitting.
Well, if he likes it, what's the problem? It's nonsense. It's nonsense. Hold on, though. What makes me laugh is he's become a laughingstock. So what do you do when you become a laughingstock? Tell the newspapers.
Well, yeah.
Tell the newspaper it completely under wraps. Then.
But it's the sort of medical nonsense that Carl would normally come out with.
Absolutely. You take on the personality of the person who gave you their blood.
Exactly. It's like those old horror stories, you get given a murderer's hand.
Yeah.
And you go around killing.
But there can be certain medical things that would change the way you think and would change you as a person. Say like how they can do face transplants now.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't quite understand how this face transplants work, because do you get a choice of who you have? If you have something done to your face and you go, it's burnt or whatever, or something happens to you and you need a face transplant.
Well, if you totally changed your appearance, then you would eventually change because of how people reacted to you.
Yeah, but
so if you gave yourself the head of an elephant, soon you wouldn't be yourself because
I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't have that. That's what I'm saying. If they had a catalogue and they said, here's some faces you can have, pick which one you want.
Yeah.
Would you be looked upon badly if you go, do you know what? I don't really like the look of any of them. Can I just wait for a better face? This moment in time, have you just got to take what's on offer?
Carl, there's no one looking through catalogues at faces they might be able to have.
No, they do now because of the face transplant thing.
But who are these people putting their face up for? They wait till someone...
Yeah, I know, but at some point... Well, I tell you what, I would not have a face transplant if I haven't seen the face before I'm going to have it.
You had to...
I want to see what I'm having. Because I could end up with anything. You mentioned elephant's head. What do you know what I mean? Whose head are they going to use? Is it the latest thing that's died? Oh, well, this got run over before. Yeah, I'll stick this on your head.
But where has this come from? Where
From
are
his
these
mind.
Where are these faces queuing up to be popped on a skull? Where do you think they have got time to put all these...
Maybe this is why it won't catch on. I don't know.
This is extraordinary. You've created in your own head the existence of this pamphlet, and now you're defending it, even though we don't know it even exists.
And you're this skull on a hospital bed going, I'm not having that. I don't like the look of him. He looks a bit shifty. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, no.
Can I ask this now? Let's say, sadly, in something terribly tragic, the nation's mourned. It's terrible. It's like one of the great national disasters. But you, at the same time, you survived the accident, okay, but your face is hideously disfigured. You can take either Ricky's face or mine to have.
I'm surprised you're asking this, though, Steve. I mean, it's just, it doesn't seem like any of them is like a great option.
Oh, thanks.
And this is what I'm saying about the catalogue. If those two were on offer, I might go, do you know what? Pop in again tomorrow. Bring in another booklet.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
This is from Anne-Marie Melvin in Amsterdam. She says that she loves the podcast. She listens with her 7-month-old baby. That cannot be a good idea. And she says this to you, Carl. If you had children, what is the most important lesson you'd want to teach them?
I mean, in a way, if you sort of look after a kid too much, but if you let it learn by its mistakes, it'll probably grow up all right.
But there are some mistakes you can't afford it to make to learn from.
Yeah. Driving a car the wrong way down a motorway.
Testing if the fire really is hot.
No, but say like the time...
Does broken glass really taste horrible? These are lessons you don't want it to learn from mistakes.
Yeah, you can tell them that.
Yeah,
but what I mean is there's certain things that... I just think there was a kid who grew up in our avenue, right, on the estate, who, when it was born, right, we kind of thought it's got no chance, this kid, because its man was a bit of a rumman. A
rumman? Where's that?
No, just like, she like going out and having a fag and like having a drink, and she's never at home. It's the one who had the horse in the house.
Sure.
Right, which I don't want to go over.
Sure, it's old news.
It's out there, isn't it, if you want to find out about the horse in the house. But she had a kid, and everyone was pretty surprised when they saw it, because it was a good-looking kid.
Yeah.
Right? Which was a surprise, because, the man wasn't that good-looking. But it came out, and she was showing it around the avenue, going, look at this I've had. And she was chuffed with it, because it's probably like one of the newest things she's ever had, because everything else was always sort of second down and what have you. But suddenly she's got this brand new little baby, right? Anyway, as it grew up, right, those looks went.
Right.
And I'm not talking getting old, I'm talking by the age of about 3. It looked rough already, right? And all that just happened because that's the life it was in, right?
Yeah.
So like it had like a patchy head. Its hair.
It what? It had a patchy head.
A patchy head. It's just sort of.
It wasn't a North American Indian. What do you mean, a patchy head?
Just his hair was patchy. He used to chase sort of cars and stuff.
Chase cars? Sorry! What do you mean?
That's what he did for his...
Sorry, did she let it get raised by wolves?
No. but all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, Do you know what I mean? Now, I don't know what state he's in now, but maybe he learned all his mistakes by the age of 4. I'm guessing he's not chasing cars now, but at least he's done it.
I'm guessing he is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At least you can go, yeah, I've been there, done that, and you don't go back to it. And you can get away with doing dafter things when you're a kid, can't you? I nearly killed a man once, right?
Okay, right.
No,
Did you?
that time when I was in Wales and I was having a walk with my dad on the cliffs and that,
Yeah.
I just picked up a big rock, right? Chucked it off the edge, and as I chucked it off the edge, I noticed a fella was walking down below,
Jeez.
and I missed his head by like inches. Now, I've never chucked a rock off a bridge or like off a cliff or anything.
And it only took one man to almost lose his life for you to learn that lesson.
Yeah, but that's how you learn your lessons,
Yeah.
isn't it?
See, a lot of people would have said that maybe your dad should have said, "Wait, Carl, what are you doing?"
No, but he didn't know I was doing it. I didn't say I'm going to chuck this off here. I just picked it up and chucked it. And like, as I let go of it, I noticed a fella was down there. You live and you learn. That's a little mantra. Right?
All right.
You live
Okay.
and you learn. So, sort of look after it, feed it, make sure it's got shoes and that, but let it roam about.
That's great.
There's the advice for you, Anne-Marie.
I love that.
Good luck. Just let your 7-month-old baby roam about.
Hey, fool! Don't give me no back chat, sucker. I ain't here to mess with you. I ain't getting in no plane. I'm here to tell you all about Friday night comedy on Channel 4. There's 3 great new comedies. New Green Wing, Yeah, Fool, that's nearly ready. My Name is Earl, and The Egg Crowd. They're great new comedy from the creator Father Ted, sucker. Friday night comedy this Friday on Channel 4, fool. Switch it on, or I'll be round your house. You stay up all night shivering, 'cause you be so mad scared. Fool.
Carl, a lot of people are absolutely fascinated to find out how you met Suzanne, your girl.
Ages.
Yeah. And they can't comprehend how, well, I suppose that there's any woman out there.
Well, there's someone
Who
for
would-
everyone, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's always my thing. And it's reassuring, I think. You know, we've chatted about the face transplants and that. You know, there's a face for everyone.
Philosophy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really unbelievable.
No, there is someone for everyone, no matter what
Yeah.
condition you're in or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I read on the email, someone emailed in an old Chinese proverb.
Is it old, though? You know the Chinese proverbs don't age well.
It's something about everyone, everything, no matter what it is, has got one talent, right? And that's the same way in a relationship, innit? That everyone, you know, there's always someone out there, and that. I like the Chinese. There's another Chinese proverb that I learned on an email.
Go on.
He who warms himself twice.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then someone sent in that one about too many Chinese cooks spoil the broth.
Why is that's I don't know who slipped the word Chinese in there, but I heard it as too many cooks.
Well, it was
spoil.
it was just all sort of Chinese proverbs and that.
One of my favourite on the same subject is a camel is a horse designed by committee.
What do you mean?
Well, it's having a go at the camel, and it shouldn't. But it's just, it's just a metaphor. And if you wanted to design a horse and you had that vision, but you let 12 people in the room have their say, it wouldn't come out as you wanted it to do, and it wouldn't be as good. A vision is more perfect than committee, because everyone having their say, it becomes anodyne, it becomes compromised. Whereas the best things you can do is have an idea and have a vision and auteur that.
Rick, can I just say now, I can tell from his look that he's thinking, which committee designed?
Well, I'd say, why would you request the ump bit? Because that's just going to get in the way, isn't it? I've always said that about a lot of animals. It's like we've doubled up on a lot of them. We've chatted about elephants and mammoths, one or the other. And that's the same with a camel. I'd have that up there as what they're doing. They were good years ago in the Jesus times and that. Don't need them now. You know what I mean? We've moved on.
Well, not people who use camels to cross deserts.
What other? I'm
communities.
going to throw some animals at you, and you tell how you'd have improved them if you'd have been designing them. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The octopus.
So I can now go back. I can look at them and go, what are they doing?
And where have they gone wrong? What's up with you? How could you improve it? Like the camel, you'd go lose the ump.
I'd probably give it a bit more of a body. Cut down on the arms. And give it to understand all this. It getting in a jar is good. When does it want to get in a jar? It says...
Well, it only wants to get in a jar according to your stories.
No, but there's something that says it can get in a jar because it hasn't got any bones. But I don't know why it'd want to do that in the first place.
I can't even begin to answer that. Once again, you've claimed that you've read that they like to get in jars. I mean, how do they know that octopus like to get in jars?
Oh God, I love it. You can improve on an octopus. Millions and millions of years of evolution, making it perfect for its surroundings. Okay, another animal for you then, Carl.
Giraffe?
What are they adding to the world? What are they doing?
Well, it's not about what they add to the world,
No, but
is
I thought that's what everything's about. It's about things are here for a reason.
No, because they work. The only reason is that they survived. They passed on their genetic material and evolved and was chosen by nature. It was selected.
But there seems to be a lot.
The reason they're here is because they didn't die.
There seem to be a lot of animals that are like.
Do you think there's a lot of cheating? Is that what you're saying? There's
I'm just saying, there just seems to be a lot of doubling up.
Yeah, so you get it down to like 8 animals that represented all of it. So okay, who would get in your team? You can choose 8 animals.
This is what I'm saying. If I was Noah, I would have gone like, hang on a minute. I've just seen something that looks a bit like this. Let it drown and have a clear out. But he didn't. He was messing about saving everything.
He was instructed by God to save everything, to be fair to him.
Yeah, but if he's been given that job, for me, he's sort of manager of that job.
So you believe
with
Noah
management.
as well? You believe Noah happened as well, and he built a boat big enough to catch 2 of every species. You actually believe that as fact, do you?
Well, it's out there in book form.
Brilliant.
All right.
We haven't answered the question that we started with. How did you meet Suzanne?
Just at work.
Thanks.
There was this airline, and was having a lot of problems, and a lot
What,
of
pilots too tall?
Yeah, the cabin was so tiny.
Only bananas were allowed in the cockpit for fuel.
Anyway, there was a lot of strikes going on, right?
Sure.
Because I don't know what it was about. It was over money or whatever.
Yes.
And
Well, get something that doesn't need money.
yeah, but
But what else could you pay something in, Rick? I mean,
peanuts.
Okay, peanuts or fruit, yeah.
So anyway, the boss of the airline, he had like one pilot who he could trust, right? And that was his son.
Right.
But the problem is with a lot of these planes, you need 2 pilots.
Of course you do.
And he was like, if only I had 2 sons. But he didn't. There's no point harping on about it. Right?
Sure.
He runs an airline.
He runs an airline, yeah.
But how many pilots are there? Because there must be loads.
No, there's loads, but the problem is a lot of them are going on strike.
Ah.
And each week you can see that we're struggling here.
But how can they get... But it was just the pilots that were striking, was it?
Yeah, the pilots were striking, yeah.
So all the ground staff and luggage handlers and all that was okay, and the
pilots were not happy with the deal and what have you.
Yeah.
Well, just close it down.
No
Anyway,
way, you can't do that,
no,
Rick.
of course
It's
you can't.
costing
do
him a
that.
fortune if he closes it down.
Yeah, but one plane's not going to make a difference in an airline, is it?
No, it's all the
It's all
planes.
the planes, mate.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So if he's only got one person he can trust, knock it on the head.
No. What's the point? You've got to keep going. You can't just nip stuff in the bud like that. If you got a dream, keep it alive.
I know, but not with one plane and your son.
So anyway,
I don't know.
Well, but that's the least of his problems, Rick, because he's got his son who's a brilliant pilot. He's the only guy he can trust. But it takes 2 people to fly.
Well, you can't fly it then.
So the son, he's flying the planes and that. He's getting worried for his dad because of his business. It's falling apart. He's like, anyway, listen.
Well, one plane won't make any difference.
Don't worry about it. We've found someone who you can work with.
Okay.
And he's like, but I get past the picket line because, they know I'm your son anyway and they'll leave me alone. But any other pilot, they're going to start giving him grief.
They're tearing him to shreds, yeah.
He said, don't worry about it.
Unless you could swing over the heads of all the strikers.
He said he's staying over near the sort of quarantine area where all the animals are kept and stuff.
Okay.
They won't be looking in there. They won't.
There's no animal that could be a co-pilot, that's why.
I'll see you. He'll meet up with you in the cockpit.
He'll meet up in the cockpit, yeah, sure.
So anyway, he gets in there. He meets them. At first, a little bit of a shock who he's going to be working with, but he's thinking, as long as I can keep my dad's business alive, I can
Not
keep
with one
a job.
plane. Not
so,
with one plane.
Anyway, what happens is the strike's going on. he's flying. He's got his mate with him flying, helping out.
Who's his mate? What's his
The
mate's
flights,
name?
the flights are brilliant, right? Everybody's loving them. They can't believe how smooth they are.
Sure.
That you know, the shares are going through the roof. Everybody's like wanting to fly.
Because this one plane they've got.
That wouldn't make any difference.
Everyone's saying, you know, it's only a small plane, but it's worth getting on there.
And
if
it's
you
a
can.
small plane as
because
well.
it's a great
Oh,
experience.
Gone under, I'd have thought. There's
So
no
anyway-
way they can keep that alive.
Apparently they can.
So they're keeping this plane up in the air and what have you, and everybody's you know booking the holidays. It's almost like the favourite bit of the holiday. They're loving the flights that much.
Why?
Because it's really good flights.
Just
I
a
don't
great, just a great
understand
flight.
what difference
Apparently it's a great flight.
it makes.
It's
I don't
dynamite.
So
understand
anyway,
what difference it makes.
Everyone's happy. Then one day, what happens is a little bit of
Oh dear. You're not going to tell us that sort of co-pilot Coco he's not able to make it to work, is he?
Well, what happened is one woman who was on the plane got a bit peckish, right?
Right.
And said to the air hostess woman, said, "I'm a little bit peckish. Have you got any sort of nibbles and that?" She went, "No, I got a sandwich." She said, "I don't really want a sandwich. You want something, you know, like the usual stuff that planes give out, just like a bag of nuts or something."
Are they not giving those out yet?
So no, they don't give it for some reason. She was like, "Look, we've stopped giving out the nuts. We can get you
That's
a sandwich."
strange,
And the woman's
yeah.
like, "I don't want a sandwich. I just want some nuts." Do
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
A sandwich is quite a big meal and whatever. I just want some nibbles, want some nuts.
Well, that's not available.
So
Done. End of
Can't
story.
get your nuts. She said, "Well, why aren't there any nuts?" She said, "Well, you know, the airlines had problems and stuff, and maybe that was one of the cutbacks. We've never took the nuts back on." Right?
Yeah, sure.
So she wouldn't just leave it. She wanted the nuts, right? She's having a lovely flight and everything. She said, "I cannot complain about the flight. The
No,
flight
sure.
is brilliant.
Whoever's up there flying this plane is doing a
She's
dynamite
doing a
job.
great job, but I need some nuts."
Right.
Anyway, so the woman
There
said
aren't
that
any.
there aren't
Very
any nuts.
demanding woman.
There aren't any.
It's a very demanding woman.
There aren't any.
Look, she's paid big money, right? She's probably.
There aren't any. Leave it.
If she has to force her way into the cabin to get nuts, she's going to get
Well,
nuts.
she can't go there because she will be shot. Because
So-
with security problems and that, there's no way she could ever go to the cockpit. That would never happen.
So she said, "Well, you're saying there aren't any nuts." She
Yeah.
said, "But earlier I saw you put a tray outside the cockpit, right? It had a sandwich on it, 2 Cokes and 2 bags of nuts."
Right.
She said, "So you're saying there aren't any, but the pilot's getting
Well,
them."
aren't they now? That was the last 2 packets. Done.
No.
Let's
So
go home.
So she's going, "You can't have any." No.
We know,
She goes-
we understand now. There's a dispute over
So
nuts.
she said, "Well, I'll go and have a word with the pilot myself because you only put them out there a few minutes ago. You can't have eaten
You
them
can't.
yet. I want
You say
some.
you
I'm
cannot
going
go-
over.
no.
I know this is it.
Yeah.
She was saying you cannot go over. She's going,
No.
"Listen,
Yeah.
I'm going to go over because I feel
No,
like
you
I'm being
can't.
lied to."
No, you can't.
So she goes,
No, there's no
and the
way.
pilot can
Well, they
hear all
can't
this
get in anyway.
chat about the nuts and what have you, and he's thinking, "What's going on out there?"
Yeah.
He opens the door. right?
Yeah.
She gets a glance in. Little monkey sat there with headphones.
Fucking bollocks. Podcast. Do register on rickygervais.com. We'll be able to email you and tell you what's happening when we finish this run of podcasts. We might have some downloads. At the moment, we're working on animating all the monkey newses. So look forward to that. The absolute bullshit that is monkey news in all its glory. This was hosted by Positive Internet.
Great guys.
The great guys that host the world's #1 podcast. Cheerio from me, Ricky Gervais, and Steve Merchant,
Goodbye.
and Carl Pilkington.
Right.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
This is Audible.
Hello and welcome to the all-new Ricky Gervais Show with me, Merchant.
Hello.
And Carl Pilkington.
All right.
You say all new, Rick. In what way is this all new? I mean, it seems very similar. It's me and Carl. I suspect we're going to be talking bollocks.
I'll tell you what's new about it. This time you have to pay for it.
Well, that is a nice new development.
Yeah.
But what about within the content of the show? Any of the classic features, Monkey News?
Well, I think Carl retired Monkey News. I don't know why.
So
Why
that's
did you
been axed.
It's just that we'd sort of done it all. Do you know what I mean?
But will he be coming back in the future?
We might do something with it, yeah.
Good. I think there'll be a campaign, you know. If I know our listeners, and I don't want to, then they'll be doing an internet campaign now to bring back Monkey News.
I just want a quick question, because I'm a bit confused. Is this show 13, because we've just done 12, or is this show 1 of the all-new Ricky Gervais Show? I didn't know where we are.
Show 1 of the all-new Ricky Gervais Show.
Right.
Is it though?
What do you mean?
Well, that's like that question that I put to you about, say if like we do something wrong to this world, runs out of whatever we need. I don't know.
You put yourself down. I think you do, and I think you
No,
probably...
just whatever
Go on.
the reason is. If it,
You are
air.
talking yourself out of a job with NASA, putting yourself down like that. I think you know exactly how the world works.
No, but, just like, say if we had to go to another world,
Right.
what year would it be?
Yeah.
I explained, told you, it depends. Because it doesn't matter where you start, right? It depends what a year is. A year is a year, because that's how long it takes our planet to go round our sun. A day is a day, because that's how long it takes the world to revolve once.
I know, but you can't go to another world and then start changing everything, because people are going to be a bit unnervy about being on different soil. So
but it's not their choice. You can't go to a planet and go, we've got to speed this planet up. It's not going through the space quickly enough.
Yeah, but everybody's, like, especially older people, is set in the ways, right?
I don't think older people set in their ways are going to pack their bags and go to Mars.
No, but if they have to... Anyway, that isn't the point. All I'm saying...
What, they're going to be moaning about days are shorter here, or days are longer, aren't they?
Well, yeah, you know what they like.
But old
Change.
people don't care. They like short days. They don't get out of bed, do they, until late? They've got nothing to get up for, and they go to bed early.
Yeah, but it's not just that, is it?
What if it's a longer day, Steve?
Oh, nightmare.
That's your point, isn't it?
But I'm talking about stationery, diaries. Everything's going to be a mess.
Right.
So what do you do? If I was in charge,
Go on.
I'd just say, yeah, carry on. It's 2007. It's September. It's a Thursday. Get on with it.
Brilliant.
I think because people
26 hours later, with a new day, and 480 days later, it's another year, 2008. I was trying to explain to him yesterday in a cafe about telescopes that can see back to the Big Bang.
Why did you do that?
Well, I was trying to explain what a light year was. Then I was explaining to him that, you sit down, you put your telescope on, you're looking at a star, the star explodes. That star exploded 1 million years ago, and he couldn't have it. I was going, you're 1 million years ago, because that's how long the light... And I started telling him that, someone on another planet far, far away could be watching the 1980 World Cup final if they had a strong enough telescope, because that's how long it took to get... look at his face. I can see his head bleeding.
I just don't... So are you saying...
Why did you start doing this in a cafe? Was it a 24-hour cafe? What were you thinking?
But are you saying, then, there could be an alien fella?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that just like we can see things happening in other on other planets, other solar systems that happened millions of years ago, there could be a little alien fella with a telescope watching the Battle of Hastings if he was far enough away.
Do you understand the concept of what Ricky's saying, that light is travelling at a certain speed, which means it hasn't necessarily arrived here yet?
So we could all relive history, though, is what I mean.
No, we couldn't, because we...
No, but whiz backwards.
One, you'd have to travel faster than the speed of light.
Yeah, I know, but say if we can do all that...
Well, that's the big thing, you can't.
No, I know, but it's only a matter of time, isn't it?
Why haven't we?
No, but we're not in a rush to do it, because we can just go back in time.
Well, but if time travel's possible, right, eventually, then it's already happened and they've come back.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is, it's one of those inventions that we're not in a rush to do, because...
No, what I'm saying is, if it's possible, then it will happen, and if it will happen, it has in the future.
Yeah, but we don't know about that yet, do we?
No, but you see my point?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not that great just because you're seeing that far, because there's nothing in the way. You're looking at nothing. Space is nothing. What are you looking at? They say... What do they say? I don't know. But
if only you had a saying there at your fingertips.
What I mean is, the universe, they say it's non-stop, there's no sides to it.
No, they don't say that. Scientists have never said that.
Now, Carl, I know you're fascinated by the concept of the doppelganger, of seeing someone who looks exactly like you. Yeah. Jake has emailed in. He says, Carl, if you could spend a day with an exact replica of you... Okay, so somehow they've cloned you, Carl, and you've got him for one day. What would you do with this? What would you make him do? What conversation would you have with him? What would you do? Is there anything you could, how would you utilise him for one day?
Well, they'd both say, I'm not bothered, and that'd be the end of conversation.
Yeah. What would do me head in is, does it think the same way, look the same way,
exactly the same?
Yeah. how would I know which one I was?
Because you'd be you.
That's amazing.
No, no, no.
How would I know which
That's
one I was?
incredible.
No, because-
that is the most stupid thing ever said by a human being. Can we get the Guinness Book of Records on this? I mean, out there, listen, people, have you heard anything more stupid than how would I know which one I was? It's the most stupid human being has ever said by definition.
But think about it. This other person's going, all right, thanks for meeting up and that. And I go, hang on a minute. No, you came to me. And then Suzanne would come home and she wouldn't know the difference. And then suddenly you'd start doubting yourself. And you go, should I be leaving? Or... So, how do I know if I am that real one, if he knows what I know?
But you know who you are because you're
but
experiencing
he'd
it.
be saying that because he'd say, yeah, it's a bit weird,
But
isn't it,
you
how
know
we're
the
meeting up?"
truth, you idiot.
Because
How
you
would I
wouldn't-
know which one I was?
So anyway...
But bear in mind,
What would you do?
You could pass him off as yourself.
What would you do? Would you play tricks? Would you, you know...
You could be in two places at once.
Would you do stings? Would you do scams?
Like Jackass.
No, because it would only end up getting me into trouble, won't it? Because people won't believe that there's another one like me.
Mm.
Otherwise, everyone would be saying that when they get caught robbing. They go, oh, it wasn't me, it was my doppelganger. It can only... I wouldn't want it, to be honest. It's again, it's a bit of a headache, isn't it? Because he could be in all sorts of trouble, and you're going, well, you pack it in. And he's going, what? What are you on about? But then that wouldn't happen, would it? Because he's being me, so he'd be sat wherever I am anyway. Because he'd want to do what I want to do. So, pointless. But I still wouldn't want it.
It's unbelievable.
That was a conversation with himself.
That was amazing.
That was like experiencing what it would be like if there was two cars.
Yeah,
He was having a discussion with himself.
We could have left in that time and come back, and he'd be arguing still. That is officially the most stupid thing. If the Guinness World Records, has anyone anywhere in the world said anything more stupid than how would I know which one was me?
But does this mean... Does this mean, though, that I could just sit at home and not do anything and just send me out on...
Yes.
And when he's seen something happen, I'm seeing it.
No.
You're separate people.
You're separate people.
But then he's not a doppelganger then,
Well,
is he?
you're identical twins then. You found out identical twins and he's got exactly the same input as you. I mean, it's not it's just a little... Again...
But I said to you the other week about twins and that, how I wouldn't like to have a twin. It's alright when you're a kid, but unless you're a Siamese twin, even they don't even look alike, do they? Just stuck together. You don't go, oh, don't they look like each other? They have different haircuts. They don't carry that thing on, do they? That normal twins do. Like normal twins, the mums say have the same haircut, wear the same shirt. Siamese twins never look the same. They've just got their arse stuck together.
Again, it's a dialogue in his own head. It's unbelievable. Okay, we're trying to get more cerebral now in this podcast. There's a lot of science here, real science. Maybe we should call it a spodcast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Carl. This is a logical conundrum. To a certain extent, there's a little bit of lateral thinking because, but there is only one right answer. Now, to get this right, because I don't know anyone who's ever got this right. The pressure is, one, asking sensible questions, and